Howdy, I am LordChoodles, and this is Hollow Knight. In the last episode, we did, Winged Nosk, Vengefly Nosk, and the Sisters of Battle, or an Ascended, and then we also did Absolute Radiance here on Ascended. So in this episode, we are going to do the Pantheon of Hallownest again, and see about finishing that up and beating Absolute Radiance here at the top of the Pantheon. I am quickly going to do this one attuned. It's been a little bit since I recorded the last episode, so I'm just going to do a quick refresher before I do the Pantheon. I'll probably speed this up or something like that, so you're not just sitting through it. But yeah, see you then. There we go. Alright. So that was pretty well done. I didn't take much damage at all. None in the first stage, just a little bit of hits in the second stage. So let me go ahead and make my way up to the top of the Godhome area here, and we will get right into the fight. I can jump, I promise. Oh, and we will get to see what the lifeblood hurts, or the butterflies and the lifeblood stuff is. In this Pantheon of Hallownest, seek the kingdom's forgotten light. For quite an endeavor, 30 minutes plus, before we get to the Radiance. It's possible I'll speed it up. I don't know if, yeah, it's possible I'll speed it up or something, because I wouldn't really feel like watching the entire Pantheon again. I'll probably edit it or something to keep the content pretty edit it down so that it's not just me doing bosses and not commentating. I'll edit it into when I say something, but otherwise we'll just speed through it. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep talking the entire time, who knows, but I don't really think I have a massive amount left to say about this Pantheon of the bosses. Let me see if I can think of a fun fact about each boss. Gruzmother is the boss that I finally changed my controls when I was fighting. When I was playing through the first time, Gruzmother, when I got so frustrated with trying to learn the keyboard controls, I went into the settings. I was like, I want to use my mouse and WASD. So she's the boss that made me do that. False Knight, I beat first try, after I had fixed my keyboard controls. You know, I don't know when I was supposed to find it in the game, and maybe I did and I just don't remember it. But the False Knight, this maggot here, stole the armor from Hegemol, one of the 5 great knights of the kingdom. And yeah, so Hegemol, something's happened to him. Maybe the maggot killed him as he slept, who knows? And Hegemol is the person we insert the city crest into at the entrance to the City of Tears, the thing that we got from the False Knight. That's a statue of Hegemol, one of the 5 great knights. I guess I haven't had a chance to talk about the 5 great knights, and this is because I'm not sure if I missed the opportunity to learn all about them and all of their names, or if what is actually commonly accepted in the community isn't all 100% stated in the game, or if I just didn't get that dialogue or whatever for some reason. But the 5 great knights are Ogrim, the Dung Defender, or White Defender as we see him. Jaya, the person we see outside of the White Lady's place, defending her. Yzma, where we get Yzma's Tear, who says, Ogrim, there's no time. Zimir, the Grey Mourner, who gave us the Delicate Flower quest. And... oh, I'm missing someone. So, Dung Defender. I can't count on my fingers, so I'm just going to count on my fingers. A Dung Defender, Yzma, Jaya, Zimir. Oh, who am I missing? I'm missing someone. Oh, and Hegemol. Did I say Hegemol when I was making my list? I'm concentrating at the moment. So maybe we'll never know. Concentrating to cheese the Dung Defender, maybe. Not cheese him, but... alright, so Hegemol, Ogrim, Jaya, Yzma, Zimir. Okay, yeah, that's all of them. The 5 Great Knights of the Kingdom. And so I guess a little bit about the Grey Mourner, Zimir. She apparently came from... not from Hallownest, because she brought the Delicate Flower with her. From wherever she came from a land serene. She brought the Delicate Flower. And when she got to Hallownest, she was a good fighter, apparently, and became one of the 5 Great Knights. And then she fell in love with the... hello, Tiso. Yeah. With the son of the Traitor Lord, the Mantis sisters, the Mantis Lord's brother. I believe she fell in love with the Traitor's child. Oopsie. And the lore is that they couldn't be together because the Traitor Lord objected to it or whatever. And question mark had his son executed. I'm not sure if... I'd have to look at some lore or something to confirm that, if my memory's correct. So, yeah. That's why the Grey Mourner is so sad, and why we brought the Delicate Flower to the Grey. About Hegemol, I talked about that. Yzma, I don't think much is known about Yzma. I could be wrong. Ow. I don't know much about Yzma. Maybe there's lore theories and stuff about her. I don't know what she had to do with acid, or why she could protect us from acid with her tear. Ogrim, he's just, he was, question mark, the leader of the 5 Great Knights. And because of the charm description that we see, of the Defender's Crest, he was the king's most loyal of the knights. Cool, got you in the air. Bow. And now he's just defending the waterways, hoping for Hallownest to be restored. So this is what the lifeblood is, by the way. So, you get 3 for getting the first notch, 4, I believe, for getting the, 4 for getting the second one. So having, oh, I didn't mean to kill that. Oh, good, I didn't get it. Yeah, so I could do this and get the life speeds, or the lifeblood hearts, but I'm not going to do that because I didn't do the bindings on this playthrough. So I wouldn't feel quite right just taking that and saying, yeah, I get this advantage, even though I didn't do it on a playthrough. Anyways, Ogrim, yeah. So I've talked about Hegemol, Yzma, Zimir, Ogrim, so the remaining one is Jaya, which I think also we don't know much about. Oh, and Ogrim and Yzma may have question mark been in a relationship? I don't know. Maybe the only reason I feel like that is because she said, Ogrim, there's no time when we dream meld her. I'm not sure if that's why I feel like, I don't Hey. Yeah, so I've talked about everybody. I don't know much about Drya, other than she was protecting the queen, and she killed a lot of the Mantis traitors that were coming to get the queen. Maybe they sensed her or something, who knows. What else haven't I talked about? Anything interesting in the Forgotten Crossroads? I can't think of anything that I haven't covered. Sorry, I'm trying to think of things I haven't talked about, and also fight at the same time. Anything in King's Path? Pass? Nothing particularly striking me that I wanted to talk about in King's Pass. Oh, I forgot, the fight isn't over yet. Green Path. So, I believe the lore, if you remember, there was that one sign that said, at the very edge, on the way that connects to the Queen's Gardens from Green Path, there's that lore tablet that talks about how beyond lies a pale being whose roots are not our own. They do not share our dream, or something like that. So that's talking about the White Lady, and how the White Lady, once the Kingdom of Hallownest was around, kind of went into Green Path and took over their lands and lays claim to it, even though it's not hers by birthright. Talking a bit about Green Path, I guess, Oon supposedly created Green Path when she was, I think Oon's a girl, was in her prime, and the Greenkin came forth out of her mind, out of a dream, from Greenwood came, maybe? And so, yeah, the caverns weren't like that. The Greenkin made them that way, I believe, is the lore, with the help of Oon, and it was their dream to make them the Green Place. And then, I'm not exactly sure how the Pale King, the Worm, and the Kingdom of Hallownest ties into Green Path, but there was the Pilgrim's Way, which was a road, and there's obviously the Stag Station. So I believe that Green Path, maybe as Oon faded, or maybe Oon agreed to it, but probably as Oon faded and went away, the Greenkin, the people of Green Path, kind of accepted the control of the Pale King. I would theorize, maybe? I don't know. I'm sure there's a generally accepted theory in the community. Oh, I completely missed the Abyss Shriek. And obviously the Moss Knights still remember Oon and are trying to, I don't know, act in her legacy and protect her. Especially that one at the Lake of Oon. And then the Radiants obviously took over their minds. Anything about the Queen's Gardens to say? I don't think so. No, I guess I can talk. I mean, I already talked about how the Traitor Lord left the Mantis tribe because he thought taking the infection into himself would make him stronger, and that's why he got kicked out, and he was infected there. And I mentioned, I think, Mauler Moon was based off of one of Team Terry's moms, question mark. Fog Canyon, anything I want to talk about? So I guess Fog Canyon, all of the jellyfish there, the Umus and the Umas and the Umu, when you dream nail them, all their thoughts about Monomon. So I don't know if Monomon like created those jellyfish, but Monomon was hanging out in the Fog Canyon, seeking to, I believe it is said, ow, he fell on me, preserve all of the knowledge of Hollow Nest. If I remember correctly. You're not dead yet? There you are. And so in those weird gibberish things, apparently, I don't know, like a computer system or something, that she was trying to store all of the information, like a librarian. And she was definitely heavily involved with the jellyfish, since Umu was protecting her, and when you dream now all of them, they're all like, Manaman! So I'm not sure about the lore of the Far Canyon, to be honest. Then the fungal wastes. I think I've talked about how the fungal wastes, the fungus decided to accept the worm because of its prescience, its foresight, maybe. They thought it would protect them. They wanted the security of the Kingdom of Hollow Nest as protection from Deep Nest, question mark? Ow. So yeah. That's the fungal waste. I guess don't have much more to say about the fungal wastes. I dashed too soon. City of Tears. I guess I haven't talked about this, but when the infection was coming around, the radiance seeping in, they sealed their city gates and shut themselves off from everybody else, and that's why they were sealed in. And in the hot springs with Marisa, we see that one bug and the blue flies. So I think since they shut themselves off from everybody else, they had to resort to eating the blue flies and rancid eggs. Because they had no other sources of food, so they were kind of running out of food and getting desperate. And at the same time, the Soul Master in the Soul Sanctum was trying to solve the problem in his own way, separate from the king, by killing a bunch of bugs and using their soul to perform experiments and obtain a pure focus to save themselves from the light. Which he may have succeeded in some way, I guess, since he was sticking around and wasn't in... Well, he was infected, actually, I think, yeah. And he said the king opposed everything he did, so that's not the method the king tried to do to stop the radiance. But before we get into the abyss and stuff, Crystal Peak, do I have commentary on that? I don't know, it was a mine. They used the big, we saw where we got the crystal turret, big machines like that, powered by the crystals to help mine. Yeah, it was a mining operation. Everybody likes the crystals, and there was some power inside of them that we don't really learn much about, other than seeing the crystallized miners at the very top shooting lasers out of it and stuff. But we don't really see how the crystals were used in the rest of the kingdom, I guess. Kingdom's Edge was the end of the kingdom. I would guess maybe they stopped building out that far because the king didn't want the ashes from his transformed body constantly falling on the city. Would be my guess. I don't know for sure. Anything else about Kingdom's Edge? The Colosseum of Fools, built inside the half of the corpse of the worm, I think, is what the Colosseum is, and the other half of the corpse, so it like split in half when he molted, and one half is the top, so the Colosseum is inside of the corpse of, and the other half is down below where we got the King's Brand that Hornet was guarding. Sorry, Graham, I apologize, but I want to do that. Then, other than Kingdom's Edge, I can talk about Deep Nest. Oop, I messed that up. Deep Nest, which never really accepted the Pell King's or Hollow Nest reign. They always fought back against it. And I guess the Mantises, hanging out at Fungal Waste, I've kind of talked about. They were independent of the Kingdom of Hollow Nest, to my knowledge. Ooh. But not actively against the king. I think I think the king, the Pale King was like, alright, you guys can be independent as long as you keep an eye on Deep Nest. I think is a prevailing lore theory there. Question on that. Don't take my word for it. You can find a lore video or something. Read the wiki. So yeah, mantises keeping an eye on Deep Nest. Ow. And then Deep Nest kind of fighting back against the Pale King, I guess. Not accepting his rule and not letting them in, even though he tried to conquer Deep Nest with the tramway and probably some battles that maybe Ogrim talked about in his quote, in his Hunter's Journal entry, like the Battle of the Black Worm, battle of something else he's talking about. Or maybe battles with Deep Nest would be my guess, since that was the main source of conflict. Question mark. Yeah. We've talked to you here before, Godseeker. And so then Deep Nest was just hanging out, not accepting the Kingdom's rule, doing their own thing. Up until the infection, where the Pale King, after, I guess we'll talk about the Abyss first. Well, actually he talked to the Dreamers first, I believe. So he was like, Monomon, do you want to help me sail this infection away? And she presumably agreed. And was like, hey Quirrell, you're gonna also protect me. And then she still did her thing with the Pale King and stuff, and sailed herself away, and that was her. Then Lurian the Watcher was, I believe, I don't know, one of the upper cast of Hallownest, I think, is the story. I can't, I'm not safe to kill. No, I'll heal. I believe is the story. He was the one of the upper cast of Hallownest, and so he was loyal to the king and obviously said, sure, I'll be a dreamer for you, my king, or something. Not coming out of this with as much health as I would like. And then Hera the Beast, the leader of Deep Nest, the Pale King wanted her as a dreamer for some reason, maybe because she was strong or something. And see, look, Monomon, Umu here is like, no, Monomon, do not sacrifice and stuff. But yeah. So Hera the Beast was like, if you have a child with me, then... Oh, come on, that one didn't go off. And deflate him again. Then I will be a dreamer. And so the Pale King agreed, and had a child with Hera the Beast, who was Hornet, the princess of Deep Nest, which we saw the little place where we got the Weaver Song. Let me slide down here and get this. There we are. Alright, that's that. And so that's the story of Deep Nest, and then after Hera was sealed away, I guess, Deep Nest kind of fell apart, and fell to the infection after it seeped out again, I guess. But then talking about how the vessel came about, so the Pale King wasn't with the Soul Master in terms of, yeah, let's experiment with Soul and do it. Instead, the Pale King was like, I'm going to have a bunch... Oops. Gonna have a bunch of children with the White Lady. And she was happy to help because she was the queen, and we just talked about in one of the recent episodes, she has a voracious desire to spread her seed and propagate upon the land, she said. And so she was happy to help with that, I guess, though she does feel some regret for it, because obviously all of the children they had were presumably all born and raised for a little bit in the Abyss, and then they were all killed once the king found the, quote, pure vessel that he wanted to seal the infection away in. So it must have took a lot of attempts to make the pure vessel. Something I wonder though is it like, did they have all of them at once, and then choose out of the hundreds of thousands that they had all at once, if it was the pure vessel, or did they have them one at a time, decide this vessel isn't pure, and then kill them, and just toss the body in the pit, and then have another one after that? Well, I guess it would have to be they had them all at once, somehow, magic, and then chose one of them, because otherwise Hollow Knight and the Hollow Knight and us wouldn't have existed at the same time, I suppose. So yeah, it must be they had them all at once, and then somehow picked out the purest of the bunch, and then the Pale King raised the Hollow Knight with the help of the Pale Lady, or the White Lady, question mark, but in the White Palace they were raised, and that's why there was the nursery we saw in the White Palace right before we got to the king, with the chair and the... I dashed too soon. With the chair and the crib and the nursery music playing, we saw. So yeah, that's that. And so he selected the pure vessel, and then as we saw on our way in the... I didn't do it soon enough. After the Path of Pain, we saw that the pure vessel had been tarnished by an idea instilled as he was being raised, which is question mark love and feeling for his father. When we saw them look at each other, I believe. And I'm sorry, I'm having to concentrate more and think about what I'm about to say less. Oh, that poop. There we are. Tarnished by an idea instilled, so when he was sealed away in the vessel with the dreamers, the radiance was able to eventually creep out of him because he wasn't a pure vessel, so there was something to corrupt, because I believe the idea was the Hollow Knight has no mind to think, no mind to be corrupted, no voice to call out for help. All the stuff we saw as we were crawling out of the abyss in that flashback, all those words, that was why he was a pure vessel, and the radiance wouldn't be able to infect his mind or seep out of him and take over like it did for all the other people who were dreaming about the radiance. And so as the infection took hold again for a second time, maybe the Pale King sealed himself away in the palace, I think is the lore, and then eventually the palace crumbled as the people of Hallownest, without their king, weren't sure what to do, and they tried to resist the dream, and as someone said, it might have been Lim, the more, or maybe in the Hunter's Journal it was remarked, the more you struggled against the dreams of the radiance and the mind and stuff, the worse it got for you and the more it deformed you. I got 2 heals. Yeah. Hey. So that's kind of my knowledge of the radiance and the infection and the like that I can remember to talk about while I'm doing this right now. I'm taking more damage than I would like to. Ow! Alright, that was a lot more damage than I would ordinarily like to take during this fight, but he has a long outro, so I got 4 heals. Then I guess a little bit about how Hallownest came to be in the first place. The Pale King, as a quote-unquote worm, a massive thing, according to Bardoon, with no limbs, came to what was presumably the empty caverns of Hallownest, or maybe was inhabited by Oon and some creatures before, but when the worm showed up, they gained a mind from him because of the precious mind this kingdom grants, And so he transformed from a worm into the form that we've seen of him alive in order to be closer to his people and, I don't know, not be strange or something. There's a quote about why he did it. I think maybe Bordoon said why. But he transformed and built his kingdom with the help of the White Lady. Yeah. Are there any areas that I haven't talked about? The royal waterways, I guess. Well, fairly self-explanatory. They're a sewage system. And the creatures there evolved after the fall of Hollow Nest, presumably. I doubt when the kingdom and the City of Tears was active, they would have been like, yeah, you guys can just live in the sewers, that's fine. So presumably, they came afterwards. Maybe. I guess the fluke mangas and stuff is like, grown fat on the rich refuse beneath the city. But the rich refuse, aka all the poop, would have been washed out and not being populated anymore after the Radiants took over, because I don't think the husks poop. So maybe there were bugs just living there when the City of Tears was in its prime, and it's like, yeah, they live down there, it's fine. But Ogrim the Dung Defender, I don't think he was always the Dung Defender. I believe it was something like, I don't know, he really went into a funk after the king disappeared and the city was falling apart, and he wanted to protect the one thing he could, which is the royal waterways he decided to protect. I'm not 100% up to date or informed about what the lore theories might be there, I guess. Yeah, Ogrim, the Dung Defender, ended up there. I'm not sure if he was a Dung Defender before or after. I guess he would have been the Dung Defender even before the city fell, because the White Lady remembers that scent from him. So yeah, he must have always liked dung, because he is a dung beetle, that's the thing. So he must have always been the Dung Defender, and he just kind of took up a permanent role residing in the city's waterways. Oopsie. After the city fell, to kind of protect the one place that he was maybe his favorite place? I don't know. Yeah, that's the royal waterways, or sewage system. I don't know if there's much more I can say about that. Look at my map. Oh, I can look at my map. I didn't expect that to work. Well, I can't really do that right now, since, you know, I'm in a boss fight. Maybe at the next area that I have to take a break, I can look at my map and be like, is there anything I haven't talked about? Or given my, like, thoughts on the lore? I don't have time here. Maybe I did have time. I could have took a very quick second. Excuse me, mate. You are... Oh, I could be on this side so that the balls just go right past me. No, they didn't really go right past me, but you know. After him is Morkoth. I need to concentrate, actually, so I'll stop doing my thoughts. Right, closer than I would have liked it to be. Morkoth, always a barrier, but we should be able to do something like this, but again, I'm going to need to concentrate a little bit. Can I get a hill? Oh, no. My queen, I do it all for you. I don't know if we've seen that trade mail dialogue before. hopper doesn't target me, so I can get my full 2 hills. Ow. Ow. Don't. Could you not? Oh, I didn't realize that was a stagger until it was too late. Alright, cool. We heal up. He has a pretty long outro, so I can get the 4th hill. I forget, is it a bench after this, or is it Nightmare King Grim? Oh, it's the Feld Champion, of course. Alright. Well, I still kind of have to concentrate during your fight, if I'm honest. Not too much concentration necessary, but a little bit. Doot, 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 doot. Goodbye. There you go. Yeah, I'll take a look at the map after this, because there's a bench after the Feld Champion, I'm pretty sure. Unless it's Nightmare King Grim next. I don't think it is, though. Ow. Guy, you're making me heal, actually. That's rude. How could you, man? And is that the end? Sure is. Alright, well, I'm getting close to the end, too. So it's a good thing I'm running out of things to talk about. Nightmare King Grim or bench? Nightmare King Grim. Alright, gonna save my looking at the map for another second, I suppose. Hello. Alright. There we are, not doing too shabby. I considered doing an Abyss Streak, but it would have frozen me in place. And I think I would have took a 1 hit of damage from the fireballs if I did, so might as well not risk the damage. I will do that up there. One of my Abyss Streaks got him, the other one he had already flown away as a bat. Coming for you, Grim. There you are. There we are. Another pufferfish. Very good. There. And this attack. Whoosh. Hey, I fell on your head. That was rude. Why'd you let me fall on your head, Grim? I didn't do anything to you. I mean, I've been attacking you a lot, but irrelevant. You shouldn't have such a tall, spiky head if you don't want someone to land on it. There we are. Should be just about done with the fight. Or maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is just the beginning, but I feel like it's been going on a while, and it's about time that he runs out of health. Really walked into that one there. Ah, got ya. There we are. Pleasure fighting you, Grim. And that was hitless, I think. Or, no, I think I healed up once. I had to. I can look at my map now. I talked about the King's Pass, Howling Cliffs, Green Path, Fog Canyon, Queen's Garden, Steep Nest, Fungal Waste, Boreal Waterways, Palace Grounds, the Abyss. The Hive I didn't talk about, Castor Shell. Alright, so the Hive I guess I'll talk about quickly. Well, it was there, and I don't think they were ever part of the Kingdom of Hallownest. They were sealed away, kind of, and they never associated with it. But they weren't enemies. They just weren't part of it. And then when the infection came, I believe they sealed themselves in. Ow. Super douche. Swear. I need to concentrate. Alright. Well, that was unfortunate. I will keep going. I will do the Pantheon of Hallownest, don't worry. But I won't be doing commentary on it. I'll just get to the top and speed through it. But I guess as we're getting started, I will talk about the hive and then I'll speed up through it because I don't need to concentrate in the beginning. That was a sad pure vessel run. I was just off my game. Wasn't ready for it. But no worries. I got this. Yeah, that pure vessel thing was honestly mistake after mistake after mistake. So the hive, as I believe I was saying, as I was getting absolutely wrecked by the pure vessel. As I was saying, get that. The hive sealed itself off once the infection started messing up the kingdom of Hallownest. I think they sealed themselves shut, letting maybe only the hivelings out through little entrances, and sealed themselves away, hoping to avoid the infection. But eventually, Hive Queen Vespa died herself, and with her gone, the hive kind of lost the will to continue resisting the infection, I think. So even though they were sealed away, the hive lost the will to keep resisting the radiance with their queen gone, especially since the hive was already kind of like a hive mind, I believe, with the queen. Yeah, bees are like a hive mind. So they were already used to the hive mind format that the radiance kind of grants, because the radiance offers light and a kind of unity, according to Verdun, and some other sources we've heard from. Oop, I hit that one against the wall. But yeah, that's all the areas of Hallownest. That's pretty much, I've gone through how the king got there, and how the green path and the other stuff became part of the kingdom, per my knowledge, obviously. How the infection started, how the infection started. So the moths, the radiance was the original light in the kingdom of Hallownest that everyone used to worship. And then the Pale King came, and he built his kingdom with the White Lady that expanded out and took over the other ones. And the moths were the only tribe that still remembered the radiance. But then I believe, as he said, one by one, even the moths forgot that light. I believe he says. And so then, obviously, the radiance isn't happy that everyone's forgetting her. And and remembering the kings, with the exception of a few moths. And so the radiance kind of fades away, or remembered only by a few. But then the radiance made a comeback somehow, and started making everybody dream of that forgotten light of the radiance, and her light instead of the Hell King's light, the Hell King and the White Lady's lights. And so that is kind of the history of the radiance, I guess, and the infection. And I'm supposed to talk about the void while the radiance was hanging out. Ow. Well, the radiance was hanging out kind of in the top part of Hallownest. The void was beneath a ancienter civilization, according to Lim, that had been around long before Hallownest, the void, and the void tendrils and the void beings, and even that void idol kind of thing, that apparently the bugs worship the void. And so I believe the radiance and the void were kind of like the antithesis of each other, but they each kept to their own parts, the radiance kind of up above and the void below. And so, progressing onwards anyway, after we've set the baseline, the king fashioned their vessels as a shell made out of, I don't know, him and the White Lady's babies. But then he filled the empty vessels with void in some manner, maybe in his workshop like he did with the king's molds and stuff. And created the vessels. And so it was like the void will absorb the light because it's blackness, the void, the absence of light, because of our shade inside of the kind of masked shell. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I understand of the void and the radiance, and I'm up to date on the lore of. Or I should say, I'm not necessarily up to date on the lore. Maybe the prevailing Hollow Knight community's opinions are very different than mine, but since my opinions have kind of been formed of my own observations, but also from reading the wiki and seeing what that has to say and other stuff. Oh, I stand here, don't I? Ow. I'm fairly confident most of what I said is fairly correct, or at the very least, not horribly wrong. But yeah. With that, I think we're at the point where I don't have much more to talk about with regards to Hallownest or its lore or history. Unless I think of something else. Please don't hit me. Oh, you did. How dare you. Editor me will fast forward us through the rest of this as I make my way back to the pure vessel and make hopefully a better showing of myself. Yeah, alright. I'll see you then. Enjoy the sped up boss rush that maybe looks cool, or maybe it's moving so fast that you can't even really tell what I'm doing. Who knows? Yeah. Adios. Alright, well, welcome back, guys. It's not been too eventful, but we are through the bosses and ready to fight the pure vessel. I did get up to close my blinds if you saw me pause in the fast forward. But even long departed, we feel the afterglow of the god power that sat this throne. It lays heavy upon this kingdom. That lingering power alone was beacon enough to draw us to Hallownest. How bright it must have been to mortal bug stood before it. A god so strong, yet erased so completely. How could it happen? God King, you reduced your form to match our meager shells. But why shed so majestic a whole? Surely your true immensity could have inspired devotion all the more. I don't know, but that's a nice chair. I enjoyed sitting in it. It really is one of the coolest moments where you sit in that chair and like the string orchestral version of the Hollow Knight theme plays. That's cool. Anyways, let me focus. Not mess this up again. Oh. Okay. I get a full hill when we go into the dream, so that's fine. Well, it's not a dream, but when we go into... This is all in a dream, yes. Anyways, let me concentrate again. I got this. I got this. I just keep telling myself that. I got this. Absolute radiance. Here we are. Ooh, I got this. Alright, so we're going to be full health going to the second phase. So... Oh, I'm not full health. I can't count, I guess. No worries. Let me see, so... She is up there. I'm not going to go up there and try and get her. Oop, I didn't see that one coming. Ah. Alright. Well, I'm gonna leave this episode here. In the next episode, I'll get this. Probably. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break. I don't want to wear myself out doing this. I think the content of this episode will be enough because I did a lot of talking about the lore, so that'll be sufficient content for this episode, probably. If not, well, I'll pin my hopeful victory to the end of this episode. But that's going to do it for now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. This is an outro. This is not a drill. Please exit the video immediately. This is an outro. This is not a drill. Please exit the video immediately.